So I'm Megan. I do the marketing for all of the Fisher Group companies. I don't know if you guys know, but Regional Supply is one of the Fisher Group. We have Label next door, Fabs and back, Fisher Fulfillment down the street. Anyway, we have quite a few companies, so I do the marketing for all of them. And I also do this type of stuff. So I'm just teaching this today. I'm not the expert. I just have fun at it, and I know a little bit about it. So if you have questions I can't answer, just feel free, and we'll try to look them up online or do something. But thank you for joining us. Sorry, this weather is not the best. But this is Eric in the back with the camera. He is going to be covering the print and cut stuff. He is the, tell me again, Eric, online sales manager.
That's correct.
For Regional Supply. So all the website stuff, Eric kind of handles. And he knows the print and cut side better than I do, so he's going to help with that. This is part of the Elevate series. If you guys have heard the Elevate series through Regional Supply. It is just basically teaching you guys how to use products, what products are, how to expand your business, giving you the knowledge to do more, do better at what you do. So anyway, thank you for joining us. This is, I think, is this the third one, Eric, we've done?
Yes.
The Elevate?
Yeah.
And we will have a big expo at the end of the, well, let's see, September 30th. There's going to be all of our vendors, and it's going to be offsite execution, so feel free to join us for that. You'll hear more about it. It's not announced officially yet, but you heard it first. Yes, I was going to say eat, because we have hands-on stuff. So make sure you're eating while I'm talking. What I thought we would do first, you have a ton of stuff in front of you, all these different papers. I'm going to go over the basics of the different, we're kind of focusing on Caesar today. This is our biggest line that we kind of use.
Hey, Manny. Here's a sheet for everyone just to.
Oh, do you want to pass it around? Okay, yeah, please do that.
And then
so, oh yeah, Eric.
One thing real quick.
This is, I'm not exactly sure the best way to do this. If you have this sheet right here, it says heat transfer materials. We're just going to kind of run down through this really quickly, just so you know what's available, what Caesar makes, kind of what they do, the differences between them, what might work best for your application. So the most popular one is called Easy Weed. And really, truly, it really weeds easy. It's just really, if you guys have ever done vinyl before, you know what weeding is. Does everybody know what weeding is? No. Okay, so once you cut your design, you're going to cut it, you're going to remove everything that you don't want. So in the sign world, it's weeding. So when you hear me say weeding, that's what I mean. So just removing everything that you don't want to apply to the shirt, okay? So when I say easy weed, sometimes weeding is a little bit difficult, it can be. So it just weeds off really, really well. And these are basically the colors the easy weed comes in. It's a lot like screen print. Quite soft, pretty basic. This is kind of what you see most people using. The next one down is the Easy Weed Extra. The only difference between those two is that one adheres to nylon. So if you have something that needs to be in the nylon world, and we don't stock that one, I don't believe, but we can order it. The Electric Series, oops, this might not be the best solution. The Electric Series is kind of a pearlescent sheen. If you guys can kind of see that, catch the light. And that is, it's just got kind of a little bit different finish on it. The Stretch Material is the next one. And this is awesome for like athletic type. It actually stretches with the fabric. You can see that from over there. So if you're doing athletic shorts or, you know, really kind of fitted anything in the athletic world, this is beautiful for that. And it's also the thinnest of all the materials. And all the way down, just so you guys can see, you've got your temperature that it needs to be applied at, your pressure, the time, and then the peel. And what a peel is called, if it's, once you iron it, you peel the top layer off. It's either cold or it's hot. When it's a hot peel, you can peel it off while it's still warm. If it's a cold peel, you need to wait till it completely cools, then peel the sheet off, so you don't ruin the material. So that has all of it, and then it just gives you your basic instructions. So you can read through that. I'll just go over the basics of it. But when I say cold or hot peel, that's what I'm meaning. The reflectile, where am I at? Why might not have that one? Oh, there's glow in the dark. Was that the first one? No. Oh, down the bottom. Yep. So that glows in the dark, basically. Charges with sunlight, glows in the dark. Super fun, Halloween, things like that. Your CAD Flex. So this one I wasn't very familiar with. The backing, if you guys are familiar with vinyl, it's the opposite of vinyl. So the backing is sticky, stuff you peel off is not sticky. So when you go to stack these, they stick together, which is not always beautiful. This Cadflex actually has a non-sticky back. So you can stack them, like if you're doing jerseys or things with a lot of numbers or things that need to be piled. That one does not have a sticky back. I have not used that one personally, but that's what it's used for. So that I would like to try. The 3D Techno has actually been discontinued. It was a puffy, it would puff out with heat, and it's been discontinued. So we won't worry about that one. The metallics. Where's the metallics? They might not be in this. Oh, right here at the bottom. So the bottom, the super mirror sheeny finish is your metallics. The video glitter, I don't know if we have it on here. It is actually encased in, let's see, where's my glitter? Oh, right here. So it's actually encased in the plastic, so it's got a smooth finish to it. The standard glitter has a kind of a little bit rougher, and it's more glittery. So that's the difference between those two. You can see it's just got a little bit different finish. Holographic. All of these are the holographic. You can just kind of see. A lot of people use this with rhinestones, so you can cut, almost make it look like rhinestone. You can see all those, and then the reflective. So the reflectile is great for really low light. If you were to put on something like running things that you were going to be running late at night or anywhere that you needed to be seen, that's what the reflectile series is for. Did I get them? Oh, strip lock. Let's not forget about good old strip lock. Where'd that one go? Right here. So if any of you remember the good old days of the fuzzy shirts, I'm dating myself, but you know, the numbers that were fuzzy, that's basically a strip lock. It just has kind of a soft little fuzzy finish to it. And you can, I believe Caesar's the only one that you can layer these with the strip locks, which is pretty nice. And all of them actually layer really nicely. As you can see, the shirts at the back of the room. I used glitter, I used Easy Weed, I used that one on the end is Chemica, the leopard. Chemica is what we'll go over next. But Chemica is where you come into patterns. These are not all of them. The tigers, army, leopard, polka dots, chevrons, things like that. And they're not the Caesar line, they're the Chemica line. They're brand new to us. That's the first time I used Chemica, and I really liked it. But it is a cold peel.
So Chemica is just a different brand from
It's a different brand. Yep. Yep. But it's a cold peel. Where should, yes, you guys have the Chemica worksheet on your table. The one that we carry is the fashion line, and that has the leopards and zebras, all the kind of fun stuff. We don't carry the normal standard line like the Easy Reads in this one. We can probably get them, but Caesar's kind of been a favorite. So
do you have a swatch book for Chemica?
Yes, I think we have one.
I don't know that we do. On the website, it has pictures of all the patterns. I don't know if we have a printed one though.
Pictures. I don't know if we do or not. I'll check on that for you. It's brand. We've only had it a few months. So, and this little book right here that you guys have, it has all of the Caesar stuff in it as well, that I just went over. It is last year's. They have adjusted a couple of colors. They've added a couple and they've taken away a few. But that would give you a basic idea. And then on the line, they have their full-time one as well. So Chemica, like I said, is, and these are some just fun ones. We can pass, these are the glitters. So this is how it feels when it's just a big full sheet of, you can just kind of take a look at it. This is the standard glitter. This is not the VideoFlex that is embedded in. But this is how it is in the sheet form. And these, here, I'll pass these as well. These are the Easy Weed, so you can kind of see the difference. This is a thinner material. You have to cut it not as deep as this.
Have you used this one before?
I have.
And we tried doing something, but it was some pretty small words.
Oh, yeah.
It does not work very well.
Here's what I found. You have to cut it much deeper, and certain colors you can see better than others. Everyone knows.
Sorry.
Cut it on the dull side. Everybody know that? We'll go over that in a minute. But it's, some colors I noticed, like the teals and things were harder for me to see. The gold is probably pretty tricky. The reds and some of the purples were easier to see. But you cut it way deeper.
Well, it was so thick that when you go to read it, it almost like tears like cardboard, you know?
It does.
Yeah, and so it's hard to.
It's a little trickier. It definitely is a little trickier. You cut it, yeah, I'll go over all that. As soon as I get done with chemical, we'll go through the ins and outs of
I use
technical.
that a lot, and I use a 60-degree blade too, rather than a 45.
Rather than 45, okay.
And it makes a big difference.
Oh,
But
good,
both
good to know.
Yeah, so I use a 60-degree blade, and I cut a lot
Deeper.
deeper.
I noticed it like on the silhouette, I cut it on the flock setting, which is a little thicker, because the normal one, it's just not super easy to.
And I
read.
adjust my blade, so it's down, or it's, it is a little deeper, and change the pressure setting, so.
Yeah, anything to kind of give it that little extra, because it is tricky, and lettering would be, yeah, that would be super tricky. Super, super tricky. Oh, I'll hand around these little chemical ones too. You guys can just kind of pass them around. Here's a cute little leopard. The polka dot one has been really popular. And that's the chevron. So same basic fill as an easy read, but just different company. And then you guys have all the, oh, thank you. You have all the instructions here. It gives you the heat, how long, and then the pressure. And then just remember the cold kill, because I did notice that when I did the leopard, it really did affect it when it wasn't cold. Not pretty easy going stuff. You can kind of do anything with it, and that one requires a little more incremental. So just to make sure that's cold. Do you want to go through the print and cut, and then I'll do the more technical side of.
Okay. One thing also with all the cut heat transfer, we have a lot of different sizes available. I think in all of them we have 12 by 12 inch sheets, 12 by 24s, some of them 12 by 36, and then usually on the roll, depending, it might be 15 inches or 24 inches wide, or 20, 24, depending what material you store. There's all different types of sizes you can get. You don't need to buy a big roll to test it out.
If you go into our showroom, have you guys been out to the new area? The one full wall is all sheets, and they're smaller sheets. But then if you want to get that in larger quantities, like Eric said, just order by the hour.
So there are a lot of sizes available. So as far as heat transfer, there's a lot of people doing it. You don't have to be sign shop necessarily, or just kind of messing around at home. Screen printers are doing it. For jerseys or type things, where you want to customize them, you can't do a custom screen for everyone's name. I mean, that's just way too much money. So it's a lot easier to do, do heat transfer, do different names for everybody, to do it pretty economical. Another part of the heat transfer that has been around for a little bit are the printable heat transfers. So that's more for people who sign shop, or they're doing other things that people and now want to do kind of customized shirts. So all these here, we have some samples here I'll pass around a little bit. But typically these are all printed with a eco solvent or solvent type printer. Does anybody here have a printer? Just final cutters?
Have a what?
Printer?
Like that you would do this type of stuff?
Okay, I just don't know if anyone here did or not. But yeah, so typically we sell Roland printers. I mean, all the Roland printers will work on these. Roland came out with a small printer last year, so it's only 20 inches wide, kind of geared toward this market because a lot of this.
What kind of ink?
The solvent ink.
Solid?
Yeah. What printer do you have?
Ours is not solid, it's aqueous, the HP.
Oh, okay, these have to be solvent. So you can get into a small printer if you're looking to do something like this. That Roland printer is about $8,500. It's not cheap, but you're not spending $25,000 like the larger wide format printers for banners and stuff like that. But we stock 4 of the different products. I mean, they have a number of them. I'm not going to go over all of them, especially since we don't have a lot of people with printers that would be doing this. But the color print PU, that's their most common one. PU is polyurethane. It's polyurethane material. It's not vinyl. It's fairly thin, kind of like the thickness of a regular vinyl. When you put it on the shirt, I mean, you can feel these afterwards. It's kind of heavy. You can feel it on there. It's not like a screen printed shirt where you know, something like that where you can't really feel it very much, but it's their most common or most popular printable item that they have. It works for most everything. We stock it in a matte color. They also have one called Color Print Sub Within. That's specifically if you're printing on dye sublimated jerseys like polyester materials. The heat will pull that dye from the jerseys up out, and this has a blocker in there so it'll keep the dye from the jersey coming up through. Color print glitter.
Oh yeah.
Send this one around. Kind of a cool thing. Really thick. Probably 4 times the thickness of your regular vinyl. I don't know, you'd want to put that on a shirt. Kind of bulletproof.
Kind of like
Maybe
armor.
not bad. But it's a neat, neat effect for that. It's a clear. All these other ones are white. That's a more of a kind of a clear. You can print your color on top of it.
That's just taped if you
Oh,
want
we'll
to take
leave
it
that
down.
big enough. Color Print Easy. That is a fairly newer one. Like it says, like the Easy Weed weeds really easy. Some of this other stuff's a little harder to get to come up. The Easy Weed or this Color Print Easy, it just pulls right off, no problem. All kinds of little intricate stuff. It works really great, and that's a fairly thin one also. To give you kind of more of the soft feel on your shirt. This TTD Easy Mask. That's the for vinyl you have your transfer tape to apply it. This is kind of their transfer tape, I guess you'd call it. It's a clear specifically for this to kind of resist the heat when you heat press it on. Kind of like the liner of the regular Easy Weed. So we have some samples of that as well as some of this other kind of samples, but we'll go through some of those and actually put them on. We have some samples of the digital printable and you can kind of play with that a little bit. I was just going to say also the heat presses. They're not cheap. We have 3 different sizes. This is the largest one. They range probably about $500 to $750, but they do a great job. You get real even pressure, even temperature across the whole thing. We do have some irons we're going to use for some of this, testing out, which you can use for the most part. They're probably not as easy to use as the heat press, but we do have heat presses available. So, anyone have any questions on printable? If anything ever comes up, we sell the printers here. We have the materials available. If you ever have questions, there's a lot of people you can talk to. So.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to start going over. You guys have lots of samples in front of you. We'll kind of get to the fun part here. So one thing I'm just going to start with the basics. So anyone who's used this, I apologize if you know all this. But one thing you have to know about heat transfer. If you are a vinyl user, you cut everything right reading, you just apply it with tape, right? Does anyone see anything wrong with this? You've used it before. So this is how you cut it, right? You can read it, everything's beautiful. When you flip this around to apply it to your shirt, see the problem? I've personally done this a million times, so this is why I'm telling you, it's always in reverse for heat transfer. Always in reverse. Just if it's a basic shape, like I did this one just for an example. And see, it's sticky. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So this, if it's just a shape, you don't care which way it goes, who cares? If it's a star, who cares? If it's lettering, big deal. So just remember, always cut the duller or not as pretty side of heat transfer. Because you're going to flip it like this and apply it to and it's sticky so it sticks to your garment before you heat it. But remember this, I tell myself this every day and I do it anyway. Because that pretty side, it just jumps out at me and I want to cut it. I don't know why. This was just a little chemical sample I had done, but again, the difference between right reading and not. So just please remember that you have ruined so much material. Well, at least I'll speak for myself, I've ruined a lot of material. Okay, so like on this, we're not cutting this side. We want to cut this side, we don't get this side. Cut this side, the dull. Okay, and then like you said, peel away. This one is a little more interesting to weed, I'll say that. The texture is different, it reminds me of fruit leather, like a really thick fruit leather. Not as easy to weed as Easy Weed, but you have these beautiful things in front of you, and we're going to weed them. So, each of you should have glitter, either pink or green. Each of you should have a holographic. Each of you should have a chemica. And this is actually the mask. So this is what Eric went over. This is the color print. We're actually going to mask that. You do print this right reading. Then you use this like a transfer tape and we'll apply it this way. Everything else is cut in reverse. You all have a pen blade donated by our friends at Pen Blade today. These are in our class. We will start carrying these hopefully within the next month. You actually put them out like this, and anytime retract them like that. So you should be able to do it in one hand if you're good. But anyway, so we have those. I like to just use regular X-Acto for reading. These are leading tools that are like a hook. I have never used them. I prefer this, but it's all personal preference. So if you guys have a weeding tool that you like, use it. Today we're just using the blades. But all of them, oh, great job. Okay, she did this beautiful thing. Okay, this is what your little green one is supposed to look like when you're done. There is also the pink one. It is a star, just to let you know kind of the shape. So you can kind of turn it over. You can kind of see the lines. Start where you need to. Yeah, they're so tiny you can probably just use your finger. Just peel from the outside. Peel it until it comes off. The black one is easy weed. You either have a snake or a chevron for chemica. And then you'll have either a turquoise or a pink. Sometimes I actually kind of bend it to kind of see the line in the glitter. Just a little bit. They're all different shapes. Now these, just to warn you, this one that you're working on, the holographic, it is kind of little circles like rhinestones. So that one's going to be a little trickier. I wanted to get the rhinestone effect. So that's how the really sparkly one is. We're just going to now apply everything that we weeded and cut
Does
and
Regional
taped.
sell the t-shirts, the blanks?
No.
Any place you'd recommend to buy them?
A lot of different places. Who would you?
I can never remember the name of it. There's one over on, I think it's 3rd West and 45th South. Or got some before, but I can't remember the name.
There's quite a few places.
Generic looking building?
Get blanks.
Yeah,
There's
just
a lot of
small.
catalogs that they send out too if you get online. Yeah.
You want
Okay, who wants to
it's all
be
Activewear, so
first?
this one, it's out on 24 South.
I see a lot of really willing people there. Hey, I screwed up half the things. It's okay.
Megan,
We're all
And
friends.
then-
I don't know that it matters so much, but the left one is set for all of the easy weed. The right one is set for the digital because they're different temperatures.
Okay.
This might not matter as much, but they are different temperatures.
Okay. So easy weed, cutesy stuff. This one, regional logo. This one. Okay. These are. I didn't really cover these. Teflon sheets. You put them between the material and the top platen here. So put your shirt down. Put your graphic down. Put this on top of it. And then we'll press it down.
And do they just come in different sizes, the Teflon
Yes.
sheets?
And the irons are back there. I have done everything with an iron. Iron works beautifully. Do not use steam.
Okay.
Steam takes the back paper and makes it into a big ball of plastic. I learned the hard way.
And they have
You want one?
several locations that are